Hi everybody. So unfortunately my recording software didn't record Eli and I talking about Zelda, but the rest of the podcast is intact. As far as what Eli and I thought about Zelda, since Unoclay didn't want to be spoiled and Mike didn't show up till later, both of us love it, and we can't wait to play it, or at least I can't, because he got to play it twice, the jerk. There's just so much new to this game, it's basically a restart of the series, but in a good way. I'm trying to fix the recording software since it's kind of started to be a problem, but I just wanted to let you know that we did actually talk about Zelda, so it's not like we just glossed over, the one biggest piece of the news of the week. And with that, on to the podcast. Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host, and with me this week is Eli.
Hi, I'm Eli. I am here, present.
Unlike the other scrubs. So E3 happened this week. And it happened for me, and it was lived through Eli. That must have been quite the crazy thing. I thought it was ridiculous enough seeing Nintendo upload so many videos, and I come home at like 8 o'clock at night, so I'm like, oh crap, I don't have a lot of time, and I was like seeing movies and stuff that week, so I had to spread it out over a couple of days just to catch up with all the news. But I guess just quickly, how was it at E3, especially with consumers there again?
Well, I think they only let a few thousand members of the public in, so it's not like it was, taken over by the masses.
Yeah.
To say. So the problem was that Nintendo's booth is usually open, and so people kind of, I don't know what the right word for it is, but, people usually end up in Nintendo's booth, because, walking through, you can go through Nintendo's booth. But this year, Nintendo had a giant wall around its booth, and as a result, a lot of people were stuck outside of it, which led to a lot of traffic, which was a pain in the ass. But I don't think anything's really different this year. This is my 33 now. And stuff has kind of started blending together in terms of all of these E3s. So it's kind of hard to remember each one individually, which it's such a first world problem, I guess.
Yeah.
But this E3 felt different in the way that you really kind of come to understand where the future of gaming is going in a way that I don't feel like any other E3 has really done. And it wasn't just, new games, even though, because games-wise, this year was pretty much, 2015 Part 2.
Yeah.
But system-wise, you're really getting an idea for what's happening, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, VR and Xbox dropped the Scorpio bomb on people.
Yeah, not just VR. Honestly, I don't think VR is going to do very well this fall. It's not ready yet. It's very expensive.
No, but I mean, it was very public at the show.
I think there were 54 companies out of the 200 showing VR, so 1 in 4, which is quite a few. I think, but the thing is, you're looking at Microsoft, and the Scorpio isn't going to be a 1-year thing. From what I understand, it's looking like they're going to be releasing a new console every year or two. And not just them, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony followed their lead. So just looking at that, it's like, wow, stuff is changing, and I don't know where Nintendo falls in the middle of all this. I guess we'll see next year. But it's kind of impressive when you, how much it's going to change, and I don't know where people are going to be left behind in this whole mess. Because I don't know if it wasn't clear enough, but Microsoft's going to be releasing something every year now. Or maybe every 2, which is weird.
I'm kind of on the fence about that whole thing. I'm fine if it's like the new, I guess like the different versions of the DS Lite where it's like, oh, this one has a couple of bonus features, but you can all still play the same games. Or in this case, maybe, you can play the games in 60 frames per second at 1080p. So now it's, I don't know, it's better, but it's not like, oh my gosh, I have to sell everything to buy it sort of thing. But if they start making games exclusive after like a year or 2, people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just going to crash again. It's going to be like this whole Sega system's over again. Oh, here's the Sega. Then there's the 32X. Then there's the CD add-on, and there's the Saturn, and then there's the Dreamcast, and it's just this overflow of too many things too quickly is going to burn customers, and they're going to be like, you know what, screw it. I have this one thing, I'm not buying your crap anymore. I'm just sticking with this, and then consoles are expensive enough as it is for companies to put out. Like they lose money on it, so them putting out so many is going to bite them in the ass in the way that like Disney Infinity bit Disney in the ass by having like so many products and not enough people supporting them all.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft was heading towards not having consoles. I mean, if you're looking at what the Scorpio really is, it's pretty much a Steam box with the Microsoft name on it.
Yeah.
And so you look at that, and the fact that there are no Xbox One exclusives anymore, and you're thinking, wow, maybe are they trying to get out of this whole business?
Oh, yeah. Sorry to interrupt. They introduced this thing called Play Anywhere. So basically, any Xbox One game that has like this Play Anywhere stamp on it, you can actually play on a Windows 10 PC or on your Xbox One. And if you play it on one, you automatically own the other, and you can transfer your saves back and forth, kind of like cross-buy with the PlayStation, which is really neat and interesting. And also good because I don't want to buy an Xbox One, but I would like to have Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much right there. The kind of the fact that they don't really look at consoles the same way anymore. I think that's pretty clear. And then I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, this yearly stuff. I think it's gonna be closer to maybe like phones, to where. Yeah, some really the really advanced games, for example, will release, and it'll work on any Xbox released in the last 3 or 4 years, but nothing older than that. That's kind of the sort of thing I imagine happening.
Yeah.
I interviewed one of the guys at Microsoft, and one of the tidbits that came out, which I wrote about, was I said, 3 years ago, Xbox One came out. It was supposed to be this whole new console. Everyone was super excited about it. But it's now outdated. Could the same thing happen to the Scorpio where it's outdated within 2 years? And he's like, well, it could. And, you hear something like that, and it's very obvious that they're heading in a different direction.
Yeah.
And not just them. We'll see how Sony goes. So reportedly, according to the leaks and stuff, the Neo is not as powerful as the Scorpio, which I think is interesting. You got to be thinking maybe Sony's going through and revising its specs right now. Who knows?
Probably.
I really hope Nintendo's doing the same thing, to be honest.
Oh gosh, yeah. The best I can hope for Nintendo is even if they make one console, they make it whatever the Scorpio is, and then that'll be enough.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to imagine that not everyone's going to be buying consoles every year, so those publishers will have to create games that are compatible for this last several years, and if the NX is as powerful as that, then they'll be fine. The real problem is I don't think the power, but like have these third parties pretty much decided to ditch Nintendo entirely. I mean, that's what it's looking like. Even after the Wii U launched, which was just as powerful as the old consoles, the old console games like South Park and stuff didn't come to the platform. So there's more to it than just power.
I think this is a good segue. Speaking of Nintendo and third parties, I actually wrote an extensive, by which I mean long-winded, article kind of poking the holes in people saying, oh, there's no third parties don't sell on Nintendo. They shouldn't bother to get third-party support because it doesn't work in the past. And I go through basically each console saying, okay, well, you can't really make that comparison because Nintendo's consoles have never been on equal footing, whether it's on system capabilities or just units sold or anything like that. You can't compare, like one of the examples I was talking with Unoclay was, he was saying, oh, Bayonetta 2 didn't sell well on Wii U because blah, blah, blah. People don't want to buy third parties on it. I'm like, well, if you look at the stats, Xbox 360 and PS3 had a combined total of 160 million units. The Wii U had like 6 at the time. Obviously, the Wii U is not going to sell much. And the when it first Bayonetta sold on the 360 and PS3, it only sold 1 million units out of like over 100 million. So it was never doing well to be.
Well, I think that's the reason why there was never a sequel and why Nintendo was the one that was able to get the rights. I mean, if that game sold 5 million on the old consoles, I don't think Nintendo would have ever been able to get those rights.
Yeah, exactly.
They would have just made a sequel.
So, yeah, it just kind of poked the hole in that fabled or infamous argument, and actually looked at like the history and statistics. But enough about me. So we're just gonna skip what we've been playing this week because we might as well get into Zelda. And Eli was playing Zelda anyway, so it's technically part of it. One quick thing before then, they announced some new amiibo. I don't remember the last time they announced amiibo. It's probably been a couple of months.
Kirby?
Oh, right. That was... I don't remember when they showed that off.
So I'm thrilled to say, to I'm sure the surprise of many of our fans, that I don't even know what amiibo were announced.
All right, so this is going to be a surprise. Surprisingly, it wasn't the remaining Smash Brothers amiibo, of which there's 3 left. Corrin, Cloud, and Bayonetta, and maybe one other. I'm pretty sure it's just those 3. They weren't announced. But what was announced were more Mario series amiibo. So there's Wario, Waluigi, Daisy, Rosalina, Boo, Donkey Kong.
You can use them in Mario Party, which nobody plays. Awesome.
It's so weird because there's nothing to really use them for, and they already have Smash Brothers counterparts except for Daisy, but that doesn't really matter.
I bet I know why they made them.
Because
the Animal Crossing amiibos sold like crap. They're on sale for $4, and they looked at their back catalog and they're like, man, what amiibos sell? And they went and looked, and they're like, well, we can't release all these Smash Bros. Amiibo again.
Yeah.
That won't work. And so they kept looking, and then they realized that back when people actually cared about amiibo, the Super Mario amiibo sold really well. And they're like, let's just make another set.
Well, technically they didn't finish, so yeah. I don't care about the Mario series. It's just, here's the bland promo art you've seen for 12 years in a row. Who cares? But they also did announce some Zelda amiibo, or Zelda U amiibo, now known as Breath of the Wild. So there's Link on Epona, or Epona, I don't really care. Link on the horse, which, yeah, whatever. There's no proper way of saying it. Regardless.
It looks like the other sneaksters trying to sneak in this podcast. Clay, you know the game has Naked Link? Did you know that? I played as Naked Link. I spoiled the whole
thing. Do tell. Wait, no, spoilers! Is it better than Naked Shulk?
Actually, I want to say something.
It's about the same.
It's funny because when I saw the trailer, you see Link in his underpants with a sword on his back jump in the lake. Now, the first thing I thought of was Shulk from Smash Brothers because they showed that off in one of the screenshot things.
That's the vision I have in here.
Looks exactly right.
Well, that's cool. Well, I can always drop back in a couple minutes if you guys want to wrap up the Zelda thing. I wasn't sure, and to the listeners, I don't know if they explained, but I try to avoid watching the Zelda thing because I'll play it eventually, and I tend to do that with games I'm positive I'll play. So I don't want to really hear about it. Are you guys still talking about it much?
I think we're
about done.
Yeah. We basically said we love the game. We don't really know what else to say about it. Nice. It looks amazing. It
does sound like the reaction was really good across the internet without reading things specifically, but reading the general tone of it. That's so you guys had the same reaction, I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Glad to hear E3 was promising for at least the one game. So
yeah.
Neato. Sorry to be late, but you were right. Matt had messaged me yesterday saying, "Hey, maybe you want to come in on time," and I was like, "You're absolutely right. I don't want to hear about all the little details." But one thing I could add that I didn't read, but Anthony on my GN put up a very extensive content-heavy blog where he kind of did a video breakdown or things you missed. I think the blog is literally called.
It's 22 things you didn't know were in Zelda.
Yeah, so that's on my GN for anybody who still uses my GN, and Anthony, aka Katie, aka Game Guy, she put up a blog, and it's excellent. And I didn't read much of it because I didn't want to get spoiled, but it was a really in-depth analysis of like a whole play-by-play. So something to check out if you're really into the Zelda thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's worth checking out. One quick last thing about Zelda, not about that game specifically, so you're fine. Through some other commentaries, they were talking about characters and whatnot, and they said there's a potential for a Sheik spin-off game. Would either of you guys be interested in that?
Yeah.
And there you have it.
Okay.
I'll play it. I'd play it. Honestly, I know that the internet reaction was overwhelmingly against a female Zelda, but I would totally be down for playing as a female Zelda. Link. I totally meant Link. And I don't know if you guys saw those keychains. There was a rumor going around the day before that.
Oh, yeah,
that
was stupid.
There's a rumor for a long time, but like people started flipping out beforehand, me included, because on the keychain there were two links, and one looked very masculine and the other one looked very feminine. And it's like, I don't think there's anything wrong with this. But, if you've got to make a Sheik game specifically to play as a female in the Zelda universe, I guess I'll go with it.
Well, the dumb thing about the lanyard was that literally like a day or two before, they showed off Link on the horse, and that was the same art used on the lanyard. So people are like, what do you mean it's a different character? It's literally the concept art from like 48 hours ago. So I thought that was kind of silly.
As far as I'm concerned, like Sheik's one of my favorite characters in Smash, if not my favorite. So it would depend on the kind of game they'd be talking about, because when you say that, I got excited, but then I thought, wait, I'm thinking of Sheik in Smash, and it might not feel the same to play as her if it's going to be more of a Zelda 3D game. I mean, the possibility. Did they give any details of this little hint?
No.
Nothing. It's just a rumor, or it's just a possibility.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we might do this.
Yeah,
I mean,
just a thought.
For me, the first thing that comes to mind, something really cool, just a spitball, would be, since I really adore her mechanics in the 2D space of Smash Brothers, like a 2D type Zelda game with her as using similar physics to the way she operates. She's the fastest character in so many ways. She's like a ninja. Her moveset is so interesting to me. I could see it working perfectly as a kind of a platforming / like 2D Zelda type game. But I have no idea. That's probably not the direction they'd go with a Zelda title, but it's wishful thinking for me, because I'm like, yeah, dude, Sheik, absolutely. I didn't even like her in Brawl, and now like the way she's set up in the new one, I think I found a lot of interest in that character, so I'd be down.
Yeah,
I'd probably be more excited than I would be for a Zelda, frankly, if it was something like a kind of game I would like.
I think the best bet would be some sort of like a ninja / stealth game, because Sheik is a stealthy character. I mean, literally Zelda is dressed up, going around sneakily, trying to get information and whatnot. So I think like a mix of stealth but also action, because she's very quick and agile and powerful, could be really cool. I'm kind of disappointed that.
That's a perfect description. I'd be all over that. That sounds awesome. But I'll have to look into this. I didn't know, avoiding all the news, I didn't know there was anything Sheik related in the news.
No, it was just like a one-off thought someone had, because they were talking about female characters or female protagonists in Zelda, and they went over female Link, and they're like, well, we tried that, we didn't think it worked, then we tried Zelda, but then what would Link kind of do, which I'm kind of disappointed, because I think a Link Zelda team-up game would be pretty cool, but...
No, okay, let me just say, okay. I don't think it angers me. It doesn't really anger me that Link isn't a girl. Like, I don't care. I just think it would be cool to be able to play as a female Link.
Linkle!
What?
Linkle.
Oh, please,
say
no.
Linkle. God.
No. What really annoys me, actually, now that I think about it, is the fact that their answers were just complete bullcrap. Like the one that you just talked about, Matt. Oh, if this was a man,
if Zelda was the protagonist, what would Link do?
Yeah, or no, the other one that they said, gosh, I forgot what it was, but it was just a really stupid answer. Like, come up with something better. Oh, the Triforce one. It's like the Triforce already has one female and two males. If Link was a female, that would throw off the balance. And
yeah,
I just heard
that's a pretty stupid answer.
I'm sorry. Can you just say like Link is a male, and that's the way
that would be a better thing. Like we just like him the way he is, because when you go into lore, it's like okay, if you really wanted to, you could retcon any kind of lore, so it doesn't matter. But regardless, I thought a Zelda Link combo game would be kind of cool, so I'm disappointed to see they shut down that. But I also like that they would rather go with Zelda as a character, because I would rather see like her backstory and kind of thing. Anyway, that's beyond the point. Sheik game could be cool if they make it wildly different, like a ninja / action game. That's not Hyrule Warriors, because that's just a button masher. They also said the Skyward Sword HD is possible. I don't really care. There's not really much to talk about that.
Yeah, of all the like Zelda games, like that's the least important one to get an HD version of to me. I'm like, oh geez, really? Like, it was okay.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I like Twilight Princess, but I didn't bother buying the HD version of that either.
I don't think it's so much about HDifying it, but if you are assuming that the NX isn't a motion control system, and we don't know, but if they were to remaster that, then that would mean moderning, making the controls modern and like not motion control, which would kind of make it immune to the future. Because they're going to have to do it at one point. At one point, they're going to want to remaster Skyward Sword, and at one point, they're going to have to move those motion controls to the buttons.
Good point.
This might sound stupid, but I think someone actually did motion controls with the 360 controller. I think they emulated Skyward Sword with the 360 controller, and what they did was they mapped like the motion controls to the second analog stick. So if you wanted to. Because when you look at how it works playing the Wii, essentially it's all moving on a flat surface, except for the stab part, I guess. But it's not like moving the sword behind you or the side of you matters. It's just like which 2D point it's facing. Basically, depth doesn't come into play a whole lot. It's just slashing left and right. But anyway, I'm talking too long about Zelda. One thing... Oh, gosh dang it. Mike.
I think Eli's point is really good about that they have to future-proof their games at some point, if I take your meaning, sort of. I mean, it's going to happen to Wii U because the lurking question, that's not like, obviously, the world's biggest critical question, given that... Uh-oh.
Yeah,
everyone's late today.
Everyone's late? Are you sure? I hope I'm not in the end. I mean, Clay was in the middle of a conversation. It sounded like he's like, all right, you can catch me at Unoclay, and now I just joined. So it's like, now it's a legit podcast.
What up?
Right. So I go back to wherever you were talking about, because I just rudely interrupted because I'm the star of the show. So let's go.
Oh, no, dude, I bow to it. I'm just the Fleo replacement, bro. No, I was saying like one of the lurking questions for Nintendo is like all these systems here since GameCube have the strange controllers, whether it's Wii or Wii U with a screen, and all these games are going to be unplayable in like 5 years when Wii U controllers start to break, and I wonder what they're going to do about that. So it's not surprising when you say, oh yeah, maybe a Skyward Sword remaster. Well, yeah, and we're not too far away from them remastering Splatoon 1 to whatever the next system is, and that kind of thing. It's going to be something we're going to see more of, is my point, because, they're not going to repair Wii U and say, like, nope, buy the new system and buy the game again or whatever. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I could see, at least with Wii games, they might just make a Wii controller that works with the system, but I can't see them making another gamepad that works with the system. Like, I could see 5 years down the line, they might release, this is the NX compatible Wii remote, but I don't see, like, a gamepad compatible.
No, I think the Pro controllers are going to be their solution for it. Like, they're going to be like, I think the NX one might have to look similar to it. Or they might do, like what you're saying, like have like a faux pas, like kind of pad, which is kind of dumb. Like, I never really thought about, like, hey, well, I want to play my Wii U games because that's that's one of Nintendo's, like, big things about their systems is they have backwards compatibility. I never really thought about, like, not having a gamepad, you know, like, for the NX. So I'm like, oh shit. Like, you guys are making total sense and blowing my mind right now. But look at this. We went back 2 generations on the Wii U to use GameCube controllers. Albeit it's only for one game, but still. So it uses GameCube controllers, Wiimotes, gamepad. Now, is the NX, because the rumored Smash Wii U NX that everybody thinks is going to happen, which totally might maybe happen, that means they're going to need another GameCube adapter that works for that. So the GameCube controller is going to last for the next 5 consoles. Like, you know, you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
So are they going to make an adapter, like you said, which is dumb? Now there's going to be an adapter for everything, and that means Wiimotes might still work for the NX if it's going to be like that. Then.
Well, and it might. So here's my question for you guys. If you guys remember, there was actually an NX game announced at E3.
Oh yeah.
Which was at the Ubisoft press conference when they announced Just Dance. Now. I wrote an article about this because I thought it was significant because Ubisoft actually has both For Honor and Ghost Recon Wildlands both releasing next March, the same release month as the NX. Yeah. And they didn't announce either of those 2 games for the NX, but they announced freaking Just Dance, along with all other, quote, motion-enabled platforms. So I don't know about you, but this terrified me for a second. I'm like, shit, we're not getting any of this third-party games again. Like, this is where we're heading. I see. I don't know. Did any of you guys come away with different thoughts?
I didn't really watch Ubisoft's conference, but I did hear about that. But March, I don't know what to think about the NX because I've seen a lot of games either get delayed to March or announced for March. Like, I think Injustice 2 is coming out March. And a bunch of other games I heard now and then. So, I don't know. It could line up with them coming to the NX, but also could be a horrible coincidence.
I think March is just the flavor date. Like, you know, like most games when they're released right away, they say January 1 TBA. Then it usually turns into March. Like, most of those games that are delayed to March either come out, like, May, or they get pushed back again to holiday season of next year. So it's
it is the end of Q1, so it is.
But my point was not like the release that they match up, but like, do you think that this is I'm overthinking things, or do you think that this is actually like this means that Ubisoft isn't bringing its AAA games, but just Dance to that NX?
I guess how did they go about it? Did they just say like, oh yeah, it's also coming to NX, like?
Well, so the first game,
like
so
brush it off kind of thing.
So what they did is they the very first game was Just Dance, and at the end they're like, Just Dance is releasing for all motion control platforms, the Wii, the Xbox One, and even the NX. And then they never said those words again. They never said NX again. Just at the beginning when they announced Just Dance, and never again.
Was that before or after they showed off For Honor?
That was before. Just Dance was the very first game they showed.
I don't know. It could also be like a slip of the tongue, like, oh shoot, we weren't supposed to say that.
Oh, no way. It was Aisha Tyler. There's no way she knows stuff she's not allowed to be saying.
I don't know what to think, honestly. Because I'm
gonna bet that somebody from Ubisoft got a very stern knock on the door from Reggie, looking very angry at some point during the day, and is like,
so I don't know. It could be that they were legitimately announcing it, or it could have been a slip of the tongue because literally no one else mentioned NX as far as I'm concerned. So either only Just Dance is coming, or everyone has to be quiet. I don't know. It could go either way.
Well, the NX is not out yet, so why are you gonna say? You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's something I would notice. You know, like that's like something I'm not gonna like. Oh my god, they didn't announce freaking. I don't know. I'm just gonna say Final Fantasy 15. They didn't announce that for the NX. It's like Kingdom Hearts 2.8 is not for the NX, but it's coming out for Xbox. Like, the NX isn't out, so it's like it's hard to be like, hey, we're developing a game for this to come out now. Like, it's supposed to come out soon for the systems that are out, and it's not coming out for the Wii U. Like, you're just gonna say for what systems. Like, we might be digging a little too deep on this one. You know, like Majora's Mask kind of like conspiracy deep, but still.
I think that's a good point too, because it still hasn't officially been like revealed in any capacity. So maybe developers are just like, well, there's no sense in disclosing it because it's on nobody's mind, right?
Can I just point out the like sleeping giant of this conversation, the thing nobody seems to be acknowledging is, dudes, we're getting another Just Dance.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
I know none of us saw that coming.
I'm all about that, alright? Like, honestly, when NX is on, that's the game I want bundled with my NX, okay? Like, I don't care about Super Mario 64 too. I need my Just Dance, whatever number it is.
Oh gosh, it'll just be Just Dance, but instead of the E, it'll have an X, so it's like Just Dance. So the worst name convention.
I'm sorry.
Wait, that means if Just Dance wait, Just Dance, if it's coming out, that means it used Wiimote thing, because there's no Kinect or PS camera, unless that means Nintendo's going to have a camera thing on there. Boom, just went even further than you fools, alright? How about that? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I guess they sort of announced that it has some sort of motion in it, or it's just compatible with Wii remotes.
Yeah, I would bet my farm that the system, whatever it is compatible with Wiimotes. I mean, they're going to lose the Wii branding. We're all positive of that, but that's like one thing that would be super easy to build into it. It's gonna be compatible with Wiimotes, you know.
What are you talking about? The next console is going to be called the Wii 2, spelled T-O-O.
No, man, I can't. Even I can't handle that. I will bang my head on my.
But like, Clay, you kind of mentioned something that's right though. Like that means like Eli's evil spite of hating the name Wii, like made me realize it's bad that they're just gonna use Wiimotes again, because then not only like does it show like I think a bit of laziness, but then it's gonna be associated as another kind of Wii thing. You know what I mean? Like they need to completely go away from that at all costs. Like you know how like Eli puts like a flame extinguisher anytime he hears the name Wii U because he just hates that name. They need to go away from Wii U. That like any Wii kind of name. Like it was nice, it lived its time, but you know what? It's over. We don't have Game Boys anymore. I have a Game Boy 3DS, but like I don't say that, like because there's no such thing. You know, like we can't call it Wii's anymore, and we got to move away from Game Boys. Even though Game Boy's a great name.
I call it my Game Boy 3DS. What are you talking about?
I'm like, yo, kid, put your Game Boys away and stop playing Pokemon and pay attention. All right? It's like, oh, old man Clay again. He's like, what do you have, a link cable? All right?
Yeah, bro.
You know why we call it Game Boy? Because we have the Super Game Boy on our Super Nintendo, which is how we actually had color before these privileged GBA kids came out. All right?
I think you just channeled Angry Video Game Nerd. That was well done. You just went over the edge.
Oh my gosh.
It's not get the podcast without some anger in here. Come on. Shouldn't have let me in.
Yeah,
no more Wii. They need to get rid of like all like I don't care if they just literally remake a Wiimote and don't call it a Wiimote. They call it an X-Boat or something badass like X-Man stuff. Alright?
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely need to cut that loose end off.
I'd be willing to bet you guys are right, though. They're aware of the branding issue. Yeah. They've admitted it, like, in little ways. But I think it'll still be back.
I think Kimishima said, like, publicly, like, yeah, that audience is gone. Like, we can't call it the Wii
I think
anymore.
they'll make it compatible.
I don't know. Ubisoft, did you hear what else Ubisoft said? Their comments about the NX?
Yeah, so they said they think it will recapture the Wii audience.
Yeah, like what does that mean?
It's gonna
my grandma's gonna buy it. Is that what it means?
Wait! Recapture is cool. I already buy everything Nintendo. They can't recapture me. I don't care what they release. I literally want that Diddy amiibo, and I still don't even open or collect amiibo. I just want it because it's Diddy on a barrel. Damn it!
So
that's how much of a sucker I am.
It could mean multiple things. It could mean that it's less powerful, more casual focused thing, but it could just mean that it's a console with a new thing attached to it, regardless of how strong it is. It just has some gimmick of some sort attached to it. And to combat that, one of the Witcher 3 developers said that he's heard positive feedback from NX developers saying, hearing that it's fantastic or spectacular. So who even knows what to think now? Because we got one side saying it's on the lower end, supposedly, and we got another side saying it's could be on the higher end, supposedly. So who the heck knows? And then Reggie kind of mixed things up too when he said it's about content, not specs, which is literally the same thing he said when the Wii U was coming out, and they posed that as like, oh, the super console for gamers, and it ended up not being so. So
there's nothing to see, man. There's nothing to see here. It's not going to be as powerful as the current gen. It's going to be less. I just mark my words. It's going to be
it's going to be as good or better than the Scorpio. That's what they have to do. That's like if they're smart, they'll get that.
What they have to do is not necessarily what they do in a lot of cases.
You said do.
That's the new name of the console. The Nintendo Doo-Doo. The Wii, the Wii U, the Doo-Doo.
Nintendo 5X, and it's gonna be like, what's that stand for? It's gonna be 5K VR 3D, every gimmick that people buy. Okay,
one long name.
They'd be like, whoa, this is virtual reality. A TV strapped closer to my face while I still need to control it. Okay, but freaking, I was gonna say maybe they'll just call it Virtual Boy too. I mean, VR is the new thing, so like, that's a good name.
So moving on from there, I guess we'll talk about one or two more things and then get going. Nintendo actually announced a new IP, surprisingly. It's for the 3DS. It's called Ever Oasis. It's an RPG where you can recruit villagers, which have their own shops and stuff, and they can battle and explore with you. It's actually made by Grezzo, who did the 3DS Zelda ports, Legend of Legacy and Triforce Heroes. And the producer of this game, and of Grezzo, actually worked on the first 3 original Final Fantasy games, and the Secret of Mana series, and yeah.
Like, did you see those screenshots? Like, I thought it was Explorers 2 or something, but you know, we'll see how it is. I mean, their big thing is making remakes, but no knock on that. Sony Santa Monica, they had those. The guys who made that The Last of Us 2, but not really Last of Us, but we have motorcycles.
Oh, yeah.
That game. Yeah, they were actually just the port, like, they just made PS Vita ports of Uncharted and all that.
Huh.
Like, that was them. So they kind of got their own shot. But 3DS is too much of a big library. Like, I always wonder how these new games sell on a 3DS. You know, like, I'm not too, interested. Like, I mean, yes, I only really love, like, main Nintendo titles. I'll play, like, the occasional, like, this is on Nintendo, it's pretty cool. But like a new IP like that, like, even though it's new and everyone proclaims they want something new, I just don't see it doing well. Like, like, it's kind of late, kind of just got thrown out there. It's kind of probably fight with Pokemon. Like, there might be an audience, but it's one of those things where, like, I just don't think it's gonna be good. Like, sales wise, like, it could be a great game, but I personally don't care. It's weird. Like, new 3DS IPs are like, I feel like those are also really common too. I mean, you got Gunvolt, you got Super Mario 3D Land. Oh, yeah, it's a good game.
Well, I mean, Bravely Default did extremely well on the 3DS.
That's what I was going to bring up. Matt, you nailed it.
Oh, but that was hype.
This is a different type of game, though.
It is, but, I mean, it's not like
this is more like Fantasy Life. This looks just like Fantasy Life, in fact.
Yeah.
Like, did Fantasy Life do good? I mean, when I met Reggie, he had a separate 3DS for Fantasy Life. So, I don't know if it was doing good or not. But yeah.
I don't know. I saw the trailer and I don't know. It doesn't look like it does a whole lot different from what I could tell. The trailer was actually it was probably like 2 minutes, but it didn't really grab me. Did anyone else see the trailer? Or Eli, did you get any more news on it?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I think it looks like friggin' Fantasy Life.
Is it strictly RPG or is it like RPG light? You're
not gonna get it, damn it. You know you're not. It's an RPG. Sit your ass down, boy.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm asking. I'm like, I can be out right now. I'm like, okay, I'm out.
I say 3 letters, Clay, you're out. I'll just say RPG. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go over there. Just relax.
Hey, unless it's Mother 3, bro. Unless it's Mother 3. That's the next one I'm going to play. So I'm just going to sit here.
Oh, my God.
Wait.
I can't wait for you to cry. I cried like a big baby. Good thing I was near the pool, man. Just jumped right in. I wasn't crying. I was wet, even though I was crying. One of the few games that make me cry besides Crisis Core, and I forget one other game. But, shit. Damn it, dude. When you said Mother 3, you distracted me with a good game. So, you know how that calmed my nerves? You have to go on, man. God damn
it. Galaxy 2. Galaxy 2.
Getting angry. Oh, Ocarina of Time. Oh, yes. That is a good game.
I think we'll do one or two more pieces and then be on our way. There's a lot of other stuff left, but we can save for the next time. Eli, I don't know if you heard about this, but Nintendo was talking about Pokemon Go, and they finally, not only gave out a release date, it's coming July, but they also decided to give us a cost. Did you hear what this cost was?
Wasn't it $35 for this little thing that I'm never gonna buy?
Yes, it's $35.
What? No.
So
no, wait.
This thing is gonna be.
The app is $35?
Yeah, the app is $35.
Whoa, wait, no.
Hmm?
No. The bracelet thing is $35. I don't think the app is.
The bracelet thing? Wait, can you play the app without the bracelet though?
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, let me check it up. You can talk
What
about
does this bracelet do?
It helps you track nearby Pokemon and get your steps in, and it buzzes every time you're near a rare Pokemon or something like that.
Oh, dude, I hate it, but I love it. It's so good. It's like it's able to get all the suckers and saps who I hate, and they're gonna buy it. It's so great. That Nintendo needs to do something schemy like this. Like that whole audience, that Wii audience, they all play on their phones like casual pieces of scum. So this is the perfect thing. Nintendo finally doing something smart, even though it's disgusting. It's smart.
I don't exactly know what you're
sorry, let me clarify. Eli, you are correct. It's the wearable wrist thing that costs $35, which is still expensive because it's just like a glorified notification system.
It doesn't do anything.
You're basically paying for the fact that it looks like a Pokeball. But are there any more ideas on the prices?
Yeah, I want to hear Clay.
What is okay? So I'm not quite familiar with what you guys are talking about. So for the sake of listeners that don't know, maybe explain it a little better. But also, what you're describing to me sounds a lot. Well, not a lot, but sounds a little bit like the trick they did with Wii Fit, where you had to buy the pedometer in order to get the game.
Yes, that's what it sounds.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's good, Clay. That's good.
Yeah, I lost my.
Let Eli talk about it. He's all about this.
So
yeah, because I do, I actually don't play any video games. I just play Wii Fit and walk around with this thing that I bought.
Hey, I play Wii Fit every other night. That's one of the best games I have on my Wii. Okay,
wait, are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm dead ass. I really do the plank challenge and the push-up challenge with the side planks all the time, man. That's just mad fun. And the hula hoop challenge.
I'm totally not joking to say I've got like a platinum Wii Fit in it too. I use it all the time. I do the yoga in it, dude. It's actually. Yeah,
I don't do the yoga. I only do the actual strength exercises. And I'm like, holy shit, this is actually freaking hard.
Yeah, some of them are really hard. I've been doing it for years. I don't even know how many hours on it, but I know it's one of my top games because I want.
How is Wii Fit 2?
I didn't know people played that game. You're blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, man. I need to explain how Wii Fit 2 is because I have it, but I never bought the pedometer. So
it's got some really cool new events in it. I mean, if you're into it, I work a desk job, and any excuse for me to play something that feels like a video game but get some exercise between doing desk work all day long is good, and that's where it really fit in.
I gotta run upstairs all the time and shit. Wear 150 pounds of equipment, but I still find this game awesome. All right, do you want me to talk about Pokemon Go or you want Matt? Matt's a Pokemon master. Eli only caught 151 and didn't get into Yale, so that's good credentials.
So, just to clarify, the wristband is $35. The game is free to play, and it has microtransactions in it, but they haven't listed the pricing structure of the microtransactions or what things you can buy within the game. And if it's Pokeballs, then you might as well either throw your wallet at them or just not bother with the game.
Or just buy the wristband, maybe you'll get extra Pokeballs with it.
You might, but at that point, I'm not going to bother with it because you know they're going to rig the game so that only 1 out of 20, like 1 out of 10 Pokeballs catches. You got to spend more money. Forget that. It's really weird because only a couple of months later, an actual Pokemon game is going to come out. So it's really weird. It's like, here's $35, sort of, for a Pokemon game that you also have to continue to pay for if you want to catch more than a handful, or you could just spend $5 more and buy an actual game with new Pokemon and no microtransactions. I mean, I know it's a different experience.
Tell you what,
still.
I will try out this game without spending any money,
yeah.
And I'll tell you how far I get, and if I like it or not.
Cool.
You know what's going to happen, dude? You're going to find the Pidgey, and you're going to use all 6 of your Pokeballs, and then you're going to catch, and it's going to be like, do you want to buy a Great Ball? And you're like, no. And then somebody you go to school, and they're like, yeah, I bought a Great Ball. Got Pidgeotto. And you're like, oh, prove my point. And boom, that's what's going to happen.
You're going to pull the same stunt I did with Pokemon Rumble World, where I'll go and take it as far as I can, even if it's not even that much fun anymore, and not spend a dime on it. It's ridiculous. And let's do one more thing to kind of round out the podcast with some anger. So, Pokemon Color Splash was shown off, and like everyone suspected, it's basically Sticker Star 2. The only real differences are cosmetic, pretty much.
Did people not like Sticker Star?
But
are you saying that Sticker Star is complete dog shit, and I tempt myself to run over it every day?
But
so
Game Explain had an interview with the assistant director of Color Splash, and he's trying to get some answers out of them. And he asked, would you remake one of your? Would you ever go back and remake one of your games? Would you be interested in that kind of thing? And she said, I think if we hear enough people, make a stink about it, then we'll have to listen to them. Which is just a slap in the face because since Sticker Star has come out, everyone's been saying...
people have been stinking on everything.
Yeah, well...
the thing is, Sticker Star outsold Super Paper Mario, so they try to use that in numbers, and it's like, like bias. It's
Since Sticker Star came out, everyone's been saying, just make the 1,000-Year Door like a sequel to that or something. We don't like Sticker Star, just stop it. So the fact that they're like, well, if they talk and say something, we'll do it. And it's like, we have been. You haven't been listening. That's the problem. And now you're making this game, and no one's going to buy it.
I think they're just saying that. It's a total PR thing.
Yeah.
That's bull. There's no way they haven't heard how much people hate Sticker Star. Yeah. Miyamoto talked about, no, it wasn't Miyamoto. It was like Nintendo talked about, the fact how people stopped playing, a few of their games. Because that was at that time of, 2012 to 2014. When Miyamoto was just ruining everything he touched. And he's like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah. He's like, yeah, let's make super easy mode and more trash and look, a robot game. And they're like, Miyamoto, just go in the corner. Okay? But I remember that. I remember reading something. They're like, we read statistics, or they had study groups, and they showed that a lot of guys weren't finishing their games. They would buy and they wouldn't continue through and all that. And Sticker Star was that focus group. So I don't know how they just are just saying that kind of shit. I mean, hopefully the game doesn't sell well or gets reviewed bad, but kind of sells good enough, but not that good. So they'll go back to their roots, but not bad enough where they have to cancel Paper Mario. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm wondering if they might chalk that up to just, it didn't sell well because the Wii sales are garbage, and then go with it anyway. But
they could totally do that. But if reviews show that it's bad, then we have a chance.
But the other thing they said, or she said, was that they've made the Paper Mario series more of an experimental series, and if you want an RPG, you can just go play Mario and Luigi. So they're basically admitting, we're gonna just dump this franchise entirely. And it's kind of sad because the Mario and Luigi games have been going downhill as well too. So it's like, oh, play those games instead. It's like, well, they're not any better either. They're still ruined by the like.
The last two 3DS ones were not that. Were all right. Dream Team was all right. And Paper Jam, I finished it. It was cool. It was really quick. It wasn't like anything like special, But
I mean, they're just.
Dream Team was better, but yeah, it's like those games like they are going downhill. Pretty easy to admit like on that. It's like they're fun. But it just doesn't match up to what we had. Like,
no, they're just
it's not a Super Mario RPG. It's not a Paper Mario 64. And it's not freaking I forget Superstar Saga best one.
They're just kind of repeating the same like areas over and over again, and they're really taking out like all the characters. Like, oh look, you meet more Toads that don't look anything different. Like in the Color Splash trailer, there's like.
Oh yeah, they're red, blue, yellow.
Yeah, Toads on a beach doing like a hula dance, and they're not even wearing like hula skirts or anything cosmetically like related to the place. So just really making it more bland, and it's unfortunate, especially when
look at the first Paper Mario. Like they made characters, like they made new characters. Like there's the Shy Guy, the hula hoop Shy Guys, the Hawaiian ones. Like they're different and all that. Like they had they made like different chain chomps. They gave them different names. Like everything was like different. It's like characters you knew, but they were different at the same time. Like even when the Cooper brothers, when they dressed up as different Toads, they were like black and wore sunglasses. It's like now it's just like, hey, I'm red, blue, yellow, purple Toad, and either whoa, you're Mario, or oh my god, I need help. And it's like there's no like depth to it, and that's what an RPG is. And I think they kind of forgot that, and they're like making it like you said, some sort of experimental series.
I mean, we're pretty far off the topic of what this started as, but like, so they showed some more of the new Paper Mario, and you guys didn't think it looked good? Like, is that the reaction I'm getting here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I didn't, because I didn't really watch it, and I thought I saw some stuff on the net that sounded like people were saying it looked better now, but, guess not.
Nope. Even in for Mario and Luigi, the first original game, Superstar Saga, they had like interesting areas like the soda pop factory, things like that. And as much as Miyamoto says story doesn't matter, in an RPG it kind of does matter because you're going on like this character's adventure, more closely related than any other type of game. So it does play an important factor into building up a world and making it more an enjoyable game. But I think we've talked quite a bit for this podcast, so we'll finish up here. I'm Matt, also known as the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And looks like Mike dropped out, so you can find him at TroyFullBuster. I forget, type it in and you'll have a bunch of his links. But you can also find him at Gaming Night Live on YouTube and Twitch. Eli, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Paula Salon. Also find my writing at Nintendo Enthusiast.
All right, and stay tuned for his Tokyo Mirage Sessions review, as he does so painstakingly, unfortunately.
Thanks Nintendo for sending me that game in the middle of E3. That's 60 hours long with an embargo 3 days after I get back. Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah. Well, they said
this job is hard.
They said if we're gonna let you play Zelda, we're gonna have to make you suffer a little. They're not letting you off easy. And Unoclay, where can people find you?
Well, I wanted to say you can find me at my IGN, and you can also find Matt there. Matt, did you mention your long rant the tear you went on yesterday on my IGN?
Yeah, I did.
Matt went on a tear yesterday on my IGN, so any listeners out there that haven't checked it out, yeah, dude. He's got a big blog. He's got some things to say. So Schmugga9 on my IGN has a blog out. You should check it out because it's pretty good. And me, I don't do blogs on there right now, but that's because I'm busy as hell. But you can always talk to me on there or call me up on the interwebs, and we'll play some games. So thanks for having me.
Cool. We'll see you next time in Leave Gamington.
Well, I don't even get an exit? Man,
what?
You guys are hard.
I told the people where they can find you because I was.
But you even mentioned my sexy new Smash video, or the fact that I made a blog and nobody even commented. And
I think I
video.
did read it. What was it?
Well, my comeback. That was it. That was literally it. And then I was like, all right, fine. Nobody cares. Everyone under Destructoid cared. Freaking writers under Detoid cared. You know what IGN cared? They wiped their ass with my freaking shit.
I think I wrote a comment.
Sure you did. Anyway, yeah, check out my sexy new Smash video. It's all edited and sexy. Clay, wink, nudge. All right.
I'm coming over now, baby.
All right, good. I also have a second one I actually edited in, but I'm gonna put it out a little bit later. All right, so it's pretty sexy though.
Good stuff.
I'll smell you guys later.
All right. See ya.